Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I have created a voice based insurance chatbot POC where I'll ask my question as an audio and then my audio has been converted into a text by using OpenAI Whisper model, and then that text is used to trigger Agno agent, and then again I'll get back the response in the audio format. So from text to audio, again I'm using 11 labs model. If you look at this architecture, this is what I have created. So I'm using these three: Gradio for my UI, 11 labs for text to speech, and Agno for my agentic framework. So I just ask my question, it goes to the team agent, and the team agent will decide whether to go to the database or to the API. So I have to, my POC supports two things here. One is the database questions. If you see here, I have this particular table which has the policy related information. So anything I can ask related to the policies, that's one thing. And the second thing is API. I have an API which will tell, like I use the Flask API. If you see this particular piece of code where I can tell the claim status, the claim date, and the latest comment on our claim, like just a simple Flask API dummy code I have created. So my chatbot does two things. One is to get the policy related information from the database, and the second thing is to get the claim related information like the claim status, the claim date, the latest comments on the claim, all those. So I'm using Agno as an Agno agentic framework for creating the agents here. 11 labs for creating the text to speech, and OpenAI Whisper model for converting my audio into the text. Now if you look into my web page, I first create the audio and then that is converted into a text and trigger the Agno agentic framework which I have created, and then I get response in the text, and again the text to audio is converted using the 11 labs audio model. That's it. So now let me ask two questions here. Now let's go to the database first and let me ask questions like, let me take any one of this phone number and ask the policy related information for this. Okay, so now I can click on this. For the phone number 999-000-8888, can you please tell me the policy number, policy type, coverage amount, premium amount? So this is what I have recorded as audio. For the phone number 999-000-8888, can you please tell me the policy number, policy type, coverage amount, premium amount? So now when I click on ask, now if we go to the code, now if we go to this gradioapp.py, if we go here, see this is the text converted from my audio using the Whisper OpenAI model from this phone number 999-000-8808. Is this the correct phone number? Yes, 999-000-8888. That's it. Can you please tell me the policy number, policy type, coverage amount? So now if you look into this diagram, now this team agent will decide whether to call an API or go to the database agent. So if it goes to the database agent, I have another team agent here. The first agent in the team will create an SQL query based on the schema of the table, and the second once the SQL query is executed, it passes to the second agent, and that agent will execute that on the database and fetches the result. So now if we go to the code, yes, we got this information. We should have that displayed in our web UI as well. Now if I play this button,
I'll forward your request to the SQL Generator Executor team, as this query involves retrieving policy details from the database using a phone number. Forwarding the request now. The policy details for the phone number 999-0 are as follows. Is policy number. Your policy 2020 where lay lithae at policy in type. Comprehensive. Coverage amount. Artist 50,000 zegos. Auto premium amount. IVAR 12 50
see, that's it. So now this particular piece of code in my architecture, the team agent decided to call DB agent, and DB agent is again a team agent. First agent in the team created the SQL query, second agent executed it. I'll show you the code as well. Now let's ask another question related to the claims. So now if I go to the code, I just have some dummy Flask API code here. So I'll just take one claim, CLM 12345, and I'll ask the question, what is the status of this claim? We should get it as approved. what is the status of the claim CLM12345? So now if I play this, what is the status of the claim CLM12345? That's it. Now I click on ask. Now if I go, what is the status of the claim CLM12345? That's it. So now it should trigger an API. We should get the response. So it's running. Once it's triggered, we get the response printed here and the audio message here. See, we got it. So now if I click on
The
this,
status of the claim is approved. The status of claim, CLA 203 is bunzas proved.
so that's it, guys. So here, so my voice chatbot is able to fetch the data from the database as well as call an API and get the response both. So now if you look at this architecture, if you see, as I said, we have tried both the flows. So now let's go and look at the code first. I'll show you in Jupyter Notebook first what I am doing. I'm just importing the liquid libraries, loading from the .env file for the APIs, and I'm getting the Postgre database connection for my local. And now I have one tool here which will get the schema using this information schema table for the Postgres table. And I have another tool which will get the query as input and it executes and returns the response in the string format. That's it. Now I have three other tools for my second workflow. Here if you see, for this claim API, to get the status of the API, to get the claim date, to get the very latest comment on my claim by the insurer. All this I'm just using a Flask API code. If you see, I'm using request.post. I have Flask API running in my another file. If you see this app.py file, and if you come to the here, it's running here, right? So here I just have this dummy database kind of dictionary, and here I am hosting all those. See, for the status one method, for the date one method, for the comment another method. So now if we go here, that's it. These are the three tools. Now first I am creating an, let's look at this team agent, SQL team agent. So inside this agent, to create a team agent, we have to use this particular class in Agno, the name. And here if you see, there are multiple types of modes here. One is coordinate, one is collaborate, and another is route. So what happens in the coordinate is everything executes, all the agents executes sequentially, all the team agents execute sequentially. So inside this team agent, I have two particular agents. One is SQL generator agent, one is SQL execution agent, and I just gave some instructions here to give the instructions to the agent. So let's see what this SQL generator agent and what SQL execution agent does. So now if you look at here, SQL generator agent, you are an expert SQL query generator. Based on the input we get to this particular agent, if you see, to create an agent in Agno, we use this agent class. To create a team, we use the team class. And I'm just passing the name, role, model, and the tools it has to use. So this particular agent will use this get table schema tool, which I have shown you. This to get the schema from this information schema table. That's it. Now the next agent is the SQL execution agent. This is using execute SQL query. So the first agent will create the SQL query, and this agent will use this particular tool and execute that SQL and return the response. That's it. Now we have seen this particular flow here. Now we have to see this particular flow here, claim processing. So now if you go and look at this API agent here, this is using these three particular tools. These tools we know, like we are getting the response from this Flask API. That's it. So we have the tools, instructions, and everything. And I created the agent. Now if you see, I have another team agent, which is my final team agent, inside which I have one for SQL team, another for API. And this is again a team agent. This is not a plain agent. But this API agent is a plain agent. If you look at this code, this is just a plain agent. But this team agent, this SQL team is a team agent. Now if I go here, and if you see here, this is the team agent inside which I have multiple agents. So I'm using a team agent inside a team. That's it. So if you see the name of the agent, now if you see the mode for this team agent, I'm using the root. That means when you use the mode as root, it will execute, I mean the team agent will decide whether to go to this agent or to this agent. That's what I have used. So when I show you this particular diagram, my team agent, the first agent, when we ask the query to this agent, it will decide whether to go to the DB agent or to the API agent. That is done using this particular mode equal to root. If you use mode equal to coordinate, all the agents will execute sequentially. And there is another mode type called collaborate. If you use that, all the agents will execute and the response will be gathered together, and the response is again summarized by this team agent. That's the purpose of collaborate. So there are three types of modes which we can use while creating a team agents in Agno. That's it. So now we have created this particular team agent. Now we ask the questions to this final team agent. What is the policy? We got the response. And now what is the status? We got the response is approved. Similar, now this particular piece of code I have integrated with the Gradio code. That's it. Now if you see, the everything starts here. That's it. I just gave this voice based instruction chartboard here, right? That's it. Now this is audio input for this, and the second is to get the response. Third is to get the response in the audio format. These three. Now when I click on this particular ask button, if you see, when I click on this ask button, this voice chat is method is function is called. Now what is this voice chat method is doing here? If you see, I am using OpenAI Whisper, and inside which I am using this OpenAI Whisper, I am converting this audio into the text format. That's it. Now this text is being passed to this final team agent. Now if you look at this final team agent, this is the one which we saw, right? So inside this final team agent, we have SQL team, which is again a team, and API agent, which is an agent. See, SQL team is a team and agent. So we have used team inside the team here. That's it. So this is how our piece of code is working. No, I forgot to show you one more thing. So now if you see here, we have triggered it, we get the response from it, whether it might go to the DB agent or it might go to the API agent, we'll get the response. Once we get the response, that response, which is a textual format, is again passed to this text to speech stream. This is from 11 labs. Now if you see here, this text as an input, and using this particular boilerplate code which I got from the documentation, we are able to generate the audio. This, it is returning the audio stream, right? If you see the voice ID, the text which we are just passing to this particular 11 lab client. That's it. So now this audio stream has been put here. That's what the response we have got.
The status of the claim is approved. The stat.
See, that's it. This is how I have created the voice based chatbot for an insurance client, where we can ask any kind of queries as an audio message and we get the response also in an audio message. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.